You never told me about Garth and how you got
Oh,
hooked up on that song.
man, that was really crazy. We heard, Garth was looking for a song, and here's the thing: we didn't even pitch a song. Drew, my publisher, he just had a bunch of friends that were publishers in town, and he would send out CDs of just stuff that had been written with his writers over to other publishers and go, "This is just stuff we're doing over here. What do you think?" And well, one of his friends was over at Garth's publishing company, and there's no reason for that publishing company to have heard a song of this company's and pitched it to Garth. But their publisher called over to Drew and said, "Listen, I just heard this song that Lee's singing. I know this is weird, but would you want me to play that for him? Like, He's like, "Yeah." So they played it for Garth, and he wanted to cut it. And I was about on the point of wanting to record that song. I loved it, very personal to me. And sure enough, he said he was going to cut it. And then he, not only did he cut it, he immediately said, it was like 4 months later, it was on the radio, sitting at #1.
Came in.
And on Monday, when the chart came out, it had not been out yet. And then when it came out, it was sitting at #1 on Monday. And on Friday, I had to fly home off my radio tour to go to the #1 party.
The first time ever.
Ever. And
that
first
a
time, my
song-
first #1.
And I gave him such a hard time the last time I saw him. I mean, what do you have to do to call every radio station to make a song come in? Not that it's not a great song, but that takes
I
some
know.
serious finagling
That
to
is
get
serious.
a song to come in the charts. And it's never been done.
I know.
Ever. Only Garth could pull that off.
I know. I am one of the lucky. I feel like I got struck by lightning about 100 times, like 1 in a million.
But did he call you at some point?
Well,
I mean,
what happened was he cut the song, and then one day I was walking through the airport, and I was about to go through security, and I get a call, and I didn't. I'm like, hello. He said, "Hey, Lee." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, this is Garth." I was like, "Garth who?" and about that time, I had to go, "Garth, I got to hang up. I'm sorry." And I had to hang up on Garth, put my stuff through the metal detector thing. I'm like, I didn't know who to tell. So I'm just going, "Yo, it's Garth. Garth Brooks just called me on my phone." And I'm just telling strangers in the airport, screaming it because I couldn't hold it in.
hey, you know who just called me?
Yeah. So I get out, I call the number back, and Kyle Jacobs answers the phone. And he says, "Hey, man, yeah, somebody wanted to talk to you." And he puts Garth back on the phone. And Garth goes, "Hey, Lee, how you doing?" I'm like, I'm awesome. I'm out here on radio tour. And
You hang up on me again. I'm not calling you back.
Yeah. And he said, "Well, man, and he just went on about it. He said, I hope you're well, and I love what you're doing." He said, "Man, this song is so good, and I really wanted you to be here today." Garth does this thing, man, when he cuts a writer's song, he wants them to hear it he's like, "I just want to make sure you approve of what I did with the song, and make sure it's okay with y'all, like how I recorded it." And I'm like, "Garth, I think it's probably going to be okay." I'm not sure. You've only sold 120 million albums. But, so he just said, "Well, I really wish you were here. I just wanted to tell you." And so Kyle and Billy got to sit there that day in the studio, and he had played it for them for the first time after he had cut it. And so I got to hear it when I came back to town. But, man, I'm in the
How
airport,
fun.
and Garth Brooks calls me on. He's just so courteous, He's really
He is
a humble,
sincere. And
sincere.
it's hard for some people to believe, but
Yeah.
I got to meet him before he ever had a record out, and Bob Doyle actually kind of gave me my start in the business too. And I was cooking some hot dogs and throwing some horseshoes over at my little house, and he said, "Hey man, I got this new guy I'm working with. Would it be okay if I brought him over too?" I said, "Sure, bring whoever, And it was funny. We threw horseshoes for a while and ate a hot dog, and we kind of walked up on the hill behind my house. It's a little 1,800 square foot house, and we're both standing there and looking down at it. And Garth said, "Man, this is so cool." He goes, "I'll never have a place like this." I said, "Oh man, you're singing and playing good." I go, "Just stay at it, dude. Don't act like that." I told him the other day, I said, man, I'm glad I was nice to you. Like, next thing I know, Garthzilla stomping through the hillbilly landslide. Yeah.
Front end loaders coming and knocking your house down. Oh, man. That is awesome.